been using for basically kind of slap together to basically build and design a website for our discussion posts. That's just what we're working at, and more or less from where we were earlier, actually, oddly enough. I wanted to get some, more of all these posts brought up to date from where we were, but it ended up not working that way for a number of reasons. Don't worry about it. But someone needs to sleep more is what it amounts to, and my body said it was about time that I did a lot more of that, which it is what it is. You can only work 20-hour days for so many weeks before your body just says, yeah, no, I don't really feel like doing that anymore. I don't want to deal with that anymore. Because that's what happened, long and short. One thing, the other delay here is that my other computer here has decided to have slight issues with playing the Discord, so I can share the screen on my Discord screen. Because unfortunately, the fun part is that no one really is there yet. I need to have that infrastructure set up. But also, if I'm being honest, well, I'd rather have that extra stream running too, just a matter of if you build it, they will come sort of deal. Plus, furthermore, it's actually where I monitor, not all of chats, but like certain details about the other ones too. So the actual stream manager stuff like that, that sort of thing. But then again, I can see all the information from other sources, just like say getting the YouTube channel, of course, answer the questions that will actually let me stream sort of thing. That sort of thing, which I have to do live, at least to my knowledge. It's probably a better way to do it, I just don't know it. I am totally novice amongst these things. Okay with that. I mean, the video is not made for voice. It's not like getting profane or anything, but it's not for voice. And with the cadre here, it's definitely not made for voice. Things get a little messy, right? Just how it works. Sometimes, well, it is what it is. Let's see. It's almost 2. Oh, that moved it. Oh, no, it didn't move that. So now I'll do this. Make sure to turn that off. And then, again, yes, you can see it. It's a monitoring issue in Discord. Could use it that way. Well, alright, let's see. So we're looking at these 5 bills, and I'll do a 6th roundup post about them as well at the end of it. Let's see. We're almost ready to go. Just took forever. Now in this stage. Share my screen on that one. And share the and then just button. I have the other button over here. Watch the screen. I don't know if I actually know. Twitch. Alright, because I'm going to need, for this one, I'm going to need my extra monitors. Or one of them's for my primary chat stuff. And then one of them's for... Did it? You did do that. No way to do that. You did that. Oh, no. Ran into a glitch with Discord. As soon as I clicked out, it picked my other machine immediately. Really try to do what? Let's try it. If it repeats, then I have a little bit of an issue here. Yeah, yeah, sometimes you just can't win. I bet it's probably something like where Discord's like, I have all the notifications, so you need to answer my notifications. Discord honestly has some issues with with a lot of issues with sharing desktops. That's the wrong one. Sorry, sharing desktops. Discord's just absolutely atrocious for sharing desktops. It doesn't want to use it. Honestly. So it's the sort of thing where, as I said, if I push the button and just go switch the screen. No, I didn't do it. So it's probably because I was switching the screen off, plus also the notifications. I think that might be the secret. Ooh, Twitch a little. Alright, so the Twitch screen switched, right? Alright, where was I? Where was I before I interrupted myself? Alright, so anyway, back to what I was doing. So yes, we're here at the Trello, and so where we were before was we had started messing with the automation. And I love the automation stuff in Trello with Muller. There's better ways to do it in a manner, for sure. You know, you can leverage certain options and so on with the Trello API, which I have used a bunch of it on for other processes, for sure. But having it, you know, having the easy sort of integrated sort of process is actually it's a convenient in the word. Is the word I want to use here. So let's see. And that adds the glossary when something gets put in there. All right. And I'm going to make a new one. Create new automation. And add trigger, and then when a checklist is complete, and I should have looked, but see, that's why I have two tabs of it open, right? I just noticed that's going to be going better off than this. Or it can be absolutely, apparently I broke something absolutely. I'm good at that. Skill. Oh, you know what? I know what I did. The panel that I was looking for is not actually on the screen I was looking at it for. For some reason, it would move to the ether. Not ether, right? So maybe one day we'll do some other mage. Actually, we have some mage stuff, like World of Darkness stuff, topped up, but we're not quite ready to start throwing out there. I personally like the World of Darkness series, like the all of it myself. But I'm gonna say that with the Rayak stuff, the themings are close enough to Quad and to specifically Mage, which is my personal preference there. It's getting there. It's getting there. Is what I'm saying. Is all I'm saying. It's getting there. Oh, where was I? Yes, alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this start, and then this is going to be, so where we're at right now is we ran, and I have basically building out the process, right? So I have to so we've ran our spreadsheet, we've done the stuff in our spreadsheet, build it out, change. Oh yeah, the title review. So basically, what we're working here is the glossary checklist, which is what I was working on over here. So you know what I was looking at was I want to make sure that the glossary checklist was that in there. So I did get that. Cool. wanted to make sure of that because it's one of those things where we don't do that right. We don't do it right. So, all right. So now we need to find the glossary term. We need to type in glossary checklist. Actually, honestly, what I suggest for this sort of thing, because it is all the sensitive, is copy and paste this one. Yes, I wrote it. Yes, it's straightforward. Yes, but you never. And it's better safe for anything. Alright, so what checklist is accurate. So when checklist is completed in a card, in this name start, but I specifically only want to do it to start. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have move to the top of the list, but I don't have that list name generated yet, which is what I was looking for. So our next step, and that was the thing we're looking for. So we did all of our initial stuff. And you know what? I will show you the nitty gritty, like the crazy stuff that I haven't really gotten into, because we have a lot of stuff. Like these are all processes that are all hit by some of my legacy sort of API build out and stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff there. It's a lot of stuff there. All right. So automation holding, drop the automation holding, and then from the previous automation element, that's the generated card. Then manually gets checked over and then moved over to article generation pathway, which then dumps it over in article generation. All right. So now historically, what we would do. In this case, we've already pre-staged all that, or built all the titles out, already done that. Is we would run it to, I want to say that we're actually in review holding now. What's a review? Well, let me check my code. And then, what can I do for you guys here? Because I don't want to expose that code because there's actually some, credentials in there that I'm exposing it leads to the potentiality of that being exposed. So what I will do is this. Let me see. I wonder if this will work this way. So my thing is super. I'll go as far as saying it's primitive. Like I'm not a GUI guy, right? I'm not a web designer. Or I don't know. I can say it now, but I'm not a GUI designer sort of thing. So I know some degree of coding in the back end stuff, but I can't be asked to do anything more than that for my own usage, for my own adjustment, my own consumption. Though I care, I don't care that much. So this is the general gist of what the code base is currently capable of doing. Mostly. There's parts there that aren't quite fully, like obviously you can see some working process marks, and the weekend review. And so we get this sort of statement where it can do all these things. Actually, after doing the research with the new tool that I've been using, I think that I can actually go back to the drawing board with using GPT-4 rather than using 3.5 Turbo for getting it done, basically getting that process done. Because the gist of what ends up happening here, just as a super high level overview again, is we utilize so we've got a couple of folks here. Right now, there's one primary, which is Ghost, also known as the Glasswalker, who has gone through and built quite a few builds, and we've been working with them on these basically the team, right, to get those kind of built out and so on. And then in turn, we take those builds and those ideas that are there, and we go through editorial passes on them. And then from there, I like having running it through GPT. And the reason why I like running it through GPT with specific curated prompts is because then we get this really interesting dynamic conversation out of it. And yes, we have those conversations as well ourselves, which is the part that's so neat about it, is that these are conversations that are happening, and then the AI is pretty much coming to, and again, AIs, they're LLMs, but to be technical, but they're coming to like really neat conclusions like out of that, and then they're coming to the conclusions a little bit, pretty close to it in some cases, sort of thing for where it goes. And this is again off of our own content type that we're using. Yes, it's pulling from, shall we say, SRDs or something like that. But that's all, perfectly fair. And even if it's not, frankly speaking, stuff should have been locked down more. I'm sorry, information wants to be free, and if you're holding it captive, fair enough. I ain't gonna say no, but I'm also gonna say information wants to be free. So don't give me that, oh, it was stolen, whatever. If you didn't lock into it. Anyway, that's a bit take, I know. It's not, I'm not quite that far gone on the matter, but it's one of those ones where it's just like, if you're, if it's there on the internet, it's there on the internet. And if it's been scraped because it was on the internet, I mean, that's like going to the Wayback Machine and saying take stuff off of it. You don't. If it's there, it's there. Like, it's, well, you can't, well, yeah, you put it out there. So, if you don't want it out there, just saying. It's one of those, like, once you open Pandora's box, it's open. You can't put the evils of the world back in the box. Got some RPGs or some game stories from Eclipse Phase and all that sort of thing. But anyway, speaking about AI and applications, I digress significantly. So where we were talking about here specifically is we're talking about this notion of where we're looking at like the particular parts of the step books and this step by step. So that's where we're at now, because what we've done so far in our process, and what I need to figure out is the code stuff. But what I need to be looking at here is back to our article generation and what we're building up the process. So right now we've completed all these things, right? So we completed, for our example, what we're running through first to build the process out, we've completed all of these things. So we've gone through, and this is what we did yesterday. We've gone through, and I can't spell the word spreadsheet apparently. There you go. Did I say create or did I say move? I think I said move. I do need to add a different item here, which is refresh. What's the name of that bloody thing that I just made? Is it my clipboard? Like, I don't dare to open my clipboard because there's probably stuff there that I definitely don't want the general people to see. You see how that works? It's like, okay, well, I've got this stuff going on in the public environment, so I'm going to be careful about making sure that I don't show the things that I don't want to show. Oh, biscuit. So if it has article generation checklist, so it is glossary checklist. Refresh checklist. And glossary. Alright, that's not necessary. So now I need to add an automation. Rules. Because there's a way to do it with the buttons too, but then I have to go through and click all of them, and I'm supremely lazy. So I can literally just go here, go. If I can remember how to do things. Where's the button? Because right now I'm also dealing with like. You ever had that spot where you've been working your eyes too much and you end up basically burning out you end up burning yourself out? Where your eyes are sore? Yeah, that's where I'm at. And then it's one of those funny parts. So yesterday, and obviously today I decided to go with it again. Where I, oh, what the deuce? Oh, stop. I clicked through stuff anyway. Where it's very easy for me to burn my eyes out, basically, when I'm wearing sunglasses. Okay, I don't know what that was, but it was all stars, and that makes me nervous. Oh, biscuit. Alright, duplicating it. Doing too many things at once. Alright, so we need to copy this guy, or no, we need to copy this guy, no. Yes. Right, maybe, I don't know. No, it was all stars, so it's this guy. That guy. Here, when cars have a list, remove the generation the article generation checklist. Article generation checklist. Okay. And then add the new checklist, which is the glossary checklist. Add the glossary checklist from our article generation checklist. Which, you know, I know what I'm doing here, and it doesn't. It's one of those ones where it's like, yes, but why? And it's like, because doing this right now for this thing that I need to do, just add these guys, go move all the cards on this list. It's only 5 cards, but it would have taken probably about as long to do it. Actually, I moved them to the wrong list, which in turn means it's going to take it just about as long as before. Dagnabbit, I suck at this game. But see, you'll remove it and re-add it, and you'll see how they're now added. My typo is corrected, and they're all there. All right, as I was. So start, holding review, start. And the next one is, oh, excuse me, okay, goodness gracious. So let's see, let's go back up to the bit where we were. This is what we were working on. So we are looking at now one of these guys. It might actually be my notes here out of pre-stage for content. So it is pre-stage for content right here where that works out right now. So what I need to do is I have a specific script. It's not part of my mainline script, which I need to fold it in the utilities. But I just haven't gotten around to it. Where from my existing, just using API keys, that's why that's not going to be on the screen. It basically, to expose it would be exposing back-end access to things that I'm not going to expose back-end access to. I'll show you guys it, but I'm not going to get access to it. It's not yours to play with, but you don't get it. Let's see. Okay, so. The fact that I can't see a piece of information. Oh, because I'm moving it. That's a different issue I get to figure out what this is. Wait, what? Streaming to it. Where are my other items that should be streaming to? It's this that is weird. Okay. Guess I do need to put it over here so I can see. Right now there should be 4 items in there. My faith in you, and thought you felt the same. Had hopes it would come true, but it all has been in vain. Why does it still hurt? Why can't I let you go? Oh, I have that. I see. So I actually have to have the thing. I almost just hit the mic with my fingers too. But weird part is that, so you know, I set up a impromptu out of a monitor on it, right? And it's totally just rigged up, let's say. And so it's like, it's literally at eye line where it's at. So it's like, it's right there. So it's why I'll have to, like, if I'm like working on a screen that's over there, I'll have to physically move the thing because otherwise I can't see. It's literally my eye. It's like literally like flat my face in it. I try to avoid that. All right, anyway, so where are we? So I needed to run this one application, this one script. Which is a pretty simple script. What it does is it'll tell me what my Trello channels are, right? To get the board list. And Python Trello get board list. That gives me my board list. There's a lot that I don't follow. Again, this is stuff that can be exposed to the public. But you're probably seeing it in the classes if you're really trying hard. And if you're trying that hard, I'm not gonna lie, you deserve it. Please don't try that hard though. Like, just please, you'll hurt yourself. It's less you'll hurt me and more you'll hurt yourself, to be honest. Because I really don't have much there. All right, so let's see. Not the security onion, which I am violating all the principles of at this point in time, and honestly, I just do not care. So switch there. Subsection templates. No, not the shrub. The subsection templates. What? Interesting. Why is it? I must have. Oh, I was working on. Oh, I see what I did there. Okay. That's not. No, that's not. Anymore. Alright, so let's see. It also keeps the archive ones too. So. I might just have a copy and paste Oh, it's got it. So I need to grab that board ID. Go back to my card that I specifically like immediately have hidden because it has information. You know what? I'm paranoid about this one. Paranoid about this one. Maybe it's time to flick it there. I'm gonna turn that on. For my visual because it's the sort of thing where, again, because I'm wearing sunglasses, right, and because the backlit, even with a little bit that I twisted and saw, there's a chance that the data could get pulled, and if the data gets pulled, well, not happy for me. Not happy for me at all. And we're talking, like honestly, really low chance. But better safe than sorry. Right, so I need to extend my code out a little bit here because I'd only had it for the one usage being board ID in and just the one board that I was using. So now I need to actually make that one more generic. So something like board ID, because they're board IDs, and then we're looking at what is that? We're looking at the readabilities, or not the readability, the art. Let's see, article generation, and that equals what's a string? It's a well, the Trello boards are all UUID type strings. So, and then I need to make sure I put my comment in there that tells me what it is. So, Stellar Dragons article generation board. Commenting is, it's one of those things, and you'll see like the thing that I've got posted up here is my comment list of it for myself, so like I'm self-identifying, right? So I need to copy their board ID website. Because that's what that is. And then I need to go down to here. Now I need to take my global variable that I used up there, copy that guy from there again. I still have the other one affixed too. Copy the one that I want as the default down here. And now my board ID is equal to board ID website. And I do need to make sure that on my related function, as I've experienced before, I need to make sure that I define that as a global variable. Because if I don't, and I'm referring to the global variable in this particular subsection, it'll outright break. It basically will go, yeah, about that, what you're doing, you're trying to define this thing this way, you can't do that. I don't know which variable you're talking about. It's not defined here. And so it needs to be declared as a global in Python. So Again, not that you can see particularly what I'm talking about, because I'm describing it mostly because, again, I have credentials that need to be protected for my configuration documentation stuff. But so as I said, just imagine that I'm working through code on the side there. And again, there's a reason why I have the video off, because although I prefer to have it on with the sunglasses and the light and all the way that the lighting works, it does reflect. So and again, passwords and password exposure is no joke. This is also one of the reasons why, as I said before, my opinion in regards to, oh no, the information got out and scrapers were able to see it, makes me roll my eyes, because that's no excuse. If you're concerned, right, about that sort of thing, and you should be, if you're concerned though about your data getting out there, and you put your data out there, well, yeah. Board IDs, and then I'm going to actually change the location of that because it's no longer creds. It's now merely an extensible. Oh no! Uh-oh. Okay, good thing I can pull Z back because I accidentally copied a blank space while I was trying to copy it over. Now that I've been talking a lot recently, because my voice is starting to do the frog, which I like, actually. I appreciate it. It also shows that I haven't been talking enough in general. Because the hilarious part is that, so with my with the previous video, you can see you can't see it because my thing's off now. I've got a map of the US behind me, right? And then I've got pins on there, which you can't really see very well because the video is not the best. But there's pins on there where I've been in the US. And it's literally, it's one of those things, if you're familiar with Johnny Cash, I've been everywhere. And it's one of those things where I can sing along that song from Johnny Cash and go, yeah, I've been there. Let's see, so, on top of it. Or ID websites. And then now I've got that. That should work with the change over there. Now I need to go to my my other dudes. Find where I put it. So we're talking right now. We're working on the submode 2, and see that's why I've got that up there, because you can see we're on submode 2. Sorry, submode 1. So character class resources, which I want to expand that out dramatically, and then that submode 1 and 2 for that matter. End up both end up both the one problem with working in the terminal, of course, is that if you do Control-C, it's cancel rather than copy. I don't know what the actual fix command is offhand. I could probably figure it out easily. I don't know what it is offhand. So just right click it. I keep on forgetting because I'm working in tech stuff that has Control-C, right? And I don't have that option in the terminal. I have to right click it or use a different command that I don't. So articles, there we go, start. So now I need to take start there. I actually have that defined as variables up again because that's what I need to do is I need to do more manipulation of stuff to where, because I've got a long list of variables, right, that are being kind of defined here as, in this one, as my statics, right. I need to pull the function that's my config from my config from my database sort of thing, and I haven't. It's one of those ones that's been a pending project. It's mostly me just working on it, right? I say mostly me, like the code base is all me, right? So the code base being all me means I, can get away with certain cheatery stuff. That's really bad form, and I know it's bad form, but it's fast. This article start. Oops. So anyway, it's really bad form, but it's one of those, it's fine enough for what I'm doing. So let's see, list ID article start, and we're gonna go with the comment. Tell me where that is, which is article generation board. Actually, I'm going to do it the other way. So that's start list that article generation board. All right, so now list article ID start. Save. Let me see what I can do here. Clear terminal. Right, so now I cleared the terminal. And then down to this error that I caused here, which actually I'm gonna need to this way. Oh, that's good. Start. I didn't define my port ID. Gosh, darn, I knew I was going to do that. This is why I also put this particular thing off, because like the mainline, I did the mainline board as my only board that I was really extensible into, and that's why you can see here, like when I've got all these multivariate tabs, is because they're all tied to streamline this ABCD sort of thing as a sort of process, right? And unfortunately for me, I've now basically gone beyond that. I had the the expandability in mind. I had an idea in mind of how to work with this, right? And it kind of was like, yeah, I'm gonna do exactly what I'm doing right now. I just didn't do it yet because well, again, I was in a rush, and it's kind of going to this sort of thing. It's like, oh, the rush thing is always the problem, right? You don't want to rush. What is going on? Why is this thing? Where's my mouse at? Oh, what the? Oh no. Okay, I see what's going on. Copy the entire line, not just the thing I did. I was thinking more busy talking than I am scripting. I won't call it coding. I mean, it's very much so coding. It's more complicated than, say, PowerShell. But it's also, it's Python scripting. It's like, yeah, okay. Because I'm not sitting here, I'm not having to recompile it every time that I make a change. So I've got one less step involved. That makes it lesser than I guess, using C++ or C# or whatever. But I still find that hilarious that you got the C derivatives. And I remember back in high school, right, where JavaScript and Java was supposed to replace C++, and C++ was supposed to be replaced by C#. All the books are like C#. And mind you, this is the year 2000. And I'm going, okay. And they're like, yeah, this is going to replace everything. And either Java or C# depending on your money. And along comes the spider, and there's freaking, Java, I guess has, I understand. Like, there's like and it's not my exact field, but I kind of know this stuff from proxy as it were. Oh shoot, I forget the terms, because again, it's not my field, right? I mean, I'm adjacent to it. But, that's space, again, it's been a long bit, but, the point that I'm trying to get at here, though, is that, this is supposed to replace it. And, like, as I understand it, C# never really took. Like, all the stuff is just still, C++ or Java and maybe Python for certain applications. Yeah. And again, I'm not totally abreast of that scene. I got some pointers, but I'm not totally abreast of the scene just because I am interested in it. I'm interested in it as a hobby, And yeah, I'm leveraging to a certain extent the skill sets to try and turn into something commercial, if you will. But the fact of the matter is, it's more of just a back-end thing rather than trying to deal with all the stuff that's related to those notions. Anyway, I am currently way off what I was trying to talk to because I am rambling again, as I have a want to do. All right, so make sure that this is right. So with the new thing, all right. Now, if I run look at my list up there, in my terminal, my Python. I wonder if I can do this. You know what? I'm gonna try something. I'm not sure if it'll work. Oh, crud. I'm not sure if it'll work because I'm not really 100%. There are things that, as I said before, this stuff's more like I'm really familiar with a lot of the stuff, but I'm also really not familiar with a lot of this stuff, so. But I just noticed that I'm not actually in my terminal's not actually in my virtual environment, which is fine because I don't, what I was working on, I don't really care, but my actual program will not run if it's not in the virtual environment. So, and I have a bunch of like pre-made commands that I'm not really sure. Like, there's probably better ways to do it. In fact, I will say this: there are definitely better ways to do it than I'm doing it. But I can't be bothered, and because again, it's just my own internal, right? If I were, and that's part of the reason why for like coding stuff that I kind of take that stance is like why I don't want to do it professionally, because then I wouldn't be able to do it how I want. I'm not saying how I want is better than other people. In fact, actually, I'm saying it's way worse than other people for sure, right? Especially somebody who's been doing it like, I've been an adult now for 20 years. Given my age, right? And so I've been doing IT tech stuff for ever, right? It's supposed to be CD and then my username, and then am I crazy? I must be crazy. What is wrong with my brain? CD dev. I could find out this path really easily if I wanted to, but I'd be stupid. All right, PW. Let's go. PW. Give me my PW. Oh crap! I have spaces in the name. What is wrong with me? I should have spaces in the name. Oh, that's what I was doing. All right. Good. Oh, good. Did it work? It did not work. Oh, okay. Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work because for some reason. No. What? Why didn't it work for that reason? Well, in any case, it needs to have the escape sequences, has spaces. There we go. All right. Oh, that did work. Huh. Okay. Just debating if I wanna go with this or not. Because again, it's one of those things. I do have to be at least somewhat conscientious about certain details that are given out about certain things and certain processes, So at least. What? Oh, because well, I don't know why I'm working so hard on this. You know what? No, yeah, you know what? I don't really think that I don't think I need to do what I was doing. Because ultimately, the way that that's working out is that just more or less, just trust me when I say I've got code working in the background, and you'll see what it does in a moment. All right? Assuming that I got it working. I just need to switch to my virtual environment. Alright, so that should work. My virtual builder, utilizing -mvd virtual environment builder, which is the builder's name. Alright, so now I am where I need to be, and I need to go Python. Right, so we're out of the woods where I'm paranoid about my video getting exposed, or accidentally exposing enough pieces of data to derive passwords and stuff like that. So I can put that. Call me a bit of a narcissist, or maybe a lawyer would be you. I'm just saying that's how that works, right? Because the one who enjoys the watching stuff is the one who's the warrior, whereas I'm the one who's doing anything. Whereas where are the no? Do I have it backwards? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Python, and then article builder, right? And then we're looking at, like I said before, this particular one is submode 4.1. 4 space 1 percenter, and I have errors, and I have errors because I didn't finish my own freaking thing. Also, I have left myself in a. Why did I do it this way? Why am I that lazy? Like, why was I being this lazy on this command? Why didn't I just do? Wow. Okay, me. Oh, I know why, because I was trying to seem smarter than I am, and I was gonna come back to it later on and then figure out how the proper way to do it. You know, where you automatically have it install the proper things into your virtual environment, which I did not do. Like to do like where I probably just need to like line break it or something for certain. I am totally I don't. Just lazy copy and paste. Wait, what? Oh. Okay, right, that's good. It just wasn't looking right for a second there. Waiting while I was sitting at it. Like for a second there, I thought that something failed with the starting up the virtual environment. So what I'm doing right now with the virtual environment, and again, I'm just gonna not share that because I have to deal with too many details right now. And maybe later I'll share my code. And I say maybe later as in I want to, but it's just I've got too much in the code as it is, too much that could be exposed by a misclick. And so since there's too much to be exposed by a misclick, it's better if I just don't take that risk. It's a long and short. Like, I won't be going back to the section that would risk it, but I also don't want to risk it. You know what I'm saying? Like where I accidentally hit an arrow key or whatever, and then a little bit of data gets out there, and it's just enough to derive. Alright, so now I have that done. So, oh no. Okay, then I actually did something wrong here. I'd see this is why I didn't do that. Alright, so now we actually have to go. Wow, I got too distracted for too many levels. When the item name item is checked. That's not what I want. I want when the checklist, browser checklist is completed. Move the card to the top of the next list. The next list on the board. Because when browser checklist is completed in the card. When browser checklist is completed in the card, in list start. Then move the card to the next list on the board. So basically what I'm setting up here is so that the checklist, which I'll show you here soon, that checklist that we completed the first one yesterday. Well, back to start because there's no header for this on this for a reason. So they all start, and now we need to figure out the name for the next checklist. And this is the thing I did wrong. So then. For this, start, I need to go enter this title. What is this next part? Generate. Although, in this case, I'm going to write it as something more generic, which was content generation. Because basically, what ends up happening is that the idea is that you have all the stuff filled out, right? You go through the spreadsheet, you do all the stuff, you fix it up, you do your thing, and then and you basically make the card from the spreadsheet information. You've done all the pre-work of this, right? And then you go to the content generation portion, and at that point in time, and when I say you, I mean me, of course. You go through and you run whatever script is appropriate. So you know where I go. Because I do try and when I'm building out like these processes, and when I'm building out like when I'm actually building it, right, and the underlying scripting and all that stuff. When I'm building out these processes, I try and have it fairly robust, like fairly future-proofing. Like, as in, if I can think of patterns if I have foreseeable patterns, I want to have at least the ability, or at least in mind, which doesn't work in a professional, right? 'Cause it's in my own head, right? But at least in mind to move towards solution, right? So towards where I go, hey, here's this, XYZ thing. How can I expand these tools to possibly, in vernacular or in whatever details, how can I expand my tools or have the expandability of my tools to better cover whatever process there is? And more work on again, I don't like doing this. I don't know, I just don't know what I'm doing. Now I need to take this guy, this new variable that I just defined, and I need to drag it down here. Set up article start. And the second one is article generation. Article start. Oh no! I made a mistake. Automation holdings where the card's generated at. Article generation pathway. Okay. Oh. So it's actually supposed to go. It's actually supposed to go in the article generator. Board ID in. So instead of list article start, it's supposed to go this article generation. Article generation. That is affiliate list. I got put in the background. Okay. We've got process. But anyway, so start and then article generation. Start goes to article generation or content generation. Content generation then runs and moves then to. So we've generated the. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna change the name of this though. It doesn't change the ID luckily, but I'm gonna change the name to content generation. It's generic enough. In this case, it's generated the step. So created the step. Okay. Now I need to go to my steps here because I'm basically pulling my steps over. So stat blocks are pre-staged for review. Then like review and stuff like that. Stat blocks are generated for review. So now we've got where stat blocks are generated. And then I'm going to have a review on cross stat because after automation, it's always good review generated. So it's the review generation that allows me to have control, a process control of this program. Because the content generation actually automatically, that we're tracking, automatically pushes it to the start. So it's start, and then this one gets checked off. And all of them get checked off. So this one we already did, right? We built this our template on. Or is it? You know what? It's not. I just screwed it up. Which is fine, but it's not like this. So what we're actually working on right now is the bad touch rate. So we get all those checked off. And that moves to the next one.
No way.
I just heard that thing said no. See, it moved. Alright, so now we're in content generation. So now we've got one part of this in the list. And make sure that I'm not going crazy. I can change this article generation. And path ID is still the glossary. Okay. Oh, that is the wrong commands. That's a lot of words. I need to figure out a better way to curate that. All right. So article builder base Python or .py forward /1. And so for1 leverages and I didn't really put the level of detail in there because it's very clear from from what the prompts are, and that I will copy and paste over so you can see what our initial prompts are, or what our not prompts are, but our information is. So this is the section here. So we're basically setting our mode or from our submode modes. And again, this actually, honestly, with somebody who's got like a penchant for these sort of things, really it'd be very easy to put in to overlay a series of like actions, reactions sort of things for like a GUI. But it's my thing. I'm the one who's doing it. So, and I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? Let me see. Module config has no attributes. Games WP key in. Did you mean SDG? Was that being mislocated? So line in is blah blah. This is blah blah blah. Games WP key in. Where is this in? Password equals. Line 1204. Line 1204, that's at the end. So 1204 is a comment that is right before config list in, config list in. WP password equals config as. Oh, it's line 1204 is the initial invoking, and in the base script, line 716 is where the error is at. Unfortunately, again, I'd actually be more willing to like show what I'm exactly looking at. But the problem is that again, there's the potentiality for exposure of information that I don't want to get exposed, specifically passwords. So, pardon me that. That's my bad for certain elements I chose. I'll need to fix it later on, but let's see. So line 716 in the interpreter says there's an error here, which is supposed to be on the comment, which is the one that I'm expecting to see. So if WP password equals, okay, so this is straight to get into the WP password stuff. So my config WordPress key in, if its variables website is equal to Seller Dragon site. Otherwise, go for games WP key in. Okay, and so that means that where I need to go for on my other side is I need to go to WP key in or SCG. Oh, what did I change? Why did I change it? So STG, so games WP key in is actually STG WP key in because apparently somebody changed his terminology without changing the invocation. That's cool. Which in turn proves Div's theory further that what I'm working here is techno magic. Ah, shoot.
What happens next is
What
absolutely
the heck is going on here?
terrifying.
No page found. Oh, you. No, that doesn't make sense. Well, I'm gonna let it run and see what happens. Because something is wrong. I don't know what's wrong yet, though. So no page found, okay, and then it's pulling the data. I feel like
Creep.
it was something with the endpoint that was the problem with using WP.
Right.
The WordPress endpoint using the glossary, the CM vault glossaries. And so this is a workaround where I just do a raw scrape for my own page because I can't get into the WP with it. But my raw scrape basically is like, yeah. So we could do this conversation. So now you can see that on the backside here, obviously we're done with those, I can hide that. You can see now how it's generating those stat blocks. And if you look at those stat blocks, it's going to have a brief in bold on the same line, and then the level 1, the level 5, the level 10, and the level 15 and level 20. You'll see how little time it takes for this, right? Now we have all the information. If you recall from yesterday, and I'll just put up for the sake of argument if you weren't there, that page doesn't exist yet. And the reason why that page doesn't exist yet is because we haven't generated it yet. So this page, on the other hand, does exist. And so this is the information that got scraped and pulled into, after our editorial pass, that got pulled into our thing. Now, there is one problem here that I see, and I'm confused, and I don't know why I hit the go back to the index. Because we're looking at the bad scrape lady, the bad touch lady, and for some reason she doesn't have her crazy scary picture. Now it could be that honestly, in my exhaustion last night, that I called early, and therefore I didn't quite do the last part there, and that's what that looks like. Oh, that one did upload. Nah, I'm gonna use the not 5 megs one because there's no point to being the 5. Oh, did it really 12? No, okay. I'm gonna use the 1 meg one instead. I mean, the 5 meg one is higher quality for sure, but it's one of those things where, you know, it's because it's web stuff, right? You have to debate between quality. Oh, that's true with anyways. Between quality and like duration of the load, right? And personally, you know, it's the or you know the quality versus quantity. It's the amount of like loading time that goes in. Let me see. Thought to be able to choose a featured image. Set featured image. There we go. Featured image here. This one. And that one. Bad. Anyway, so that was the error that was there. It doesn't affect our scrape because the scrape doesn't care about pictures because we're not like sending the pictures to the device. Ah, look at that. It's done. So while I was getting that done, so now you can see here how it has the level 20 brief. The stat block level 20, the level 15 brief, the stat block level 15, the level 10 brief, and so on. And so now, with this information, I have the zap that I'm going to need to reconfigure for this process. And I think I'm okay there. I could be wrong and just about to break everything with this process. Now we transfer the Trello card comments to the Google Sheet. I don't know if this is going to work because my thing's actually running out. So card week list in Trello, I need to go back to Trello, right? And so review generation's done. Now I could have it actually immediately push this information to Trello, or from Trello as it is, or from Trello to the sheet as it is. I think I will do that, actually. I know I said what I said earlier about reviewing it, but the thing is that in review, I can actually make sure that I get it done. Ooh, that's something I need to show. So let's see, draft. Right, so now I have the card to the list. Right, now instead of zap this, you can actually go. That's gonna be no, and I'm gonna have to pull it off so I can redefine something. Because that's all showing the wrong board. There's a board button, but it also did kind of expose a little bit more information that I didn't want to, that I was trying to avoid. So, not passwords, but you now know my addresses for some other things. Can't really use them for anything as of yet because you don't have the full picture. But you know, that's how that sort of logic is how big bad things has happened. Now, what do I have that could cause big bad things? Well, don't try and find out, please. But I will say it's probably something involving firewall. Don't worry about it. Hey, don't call me out like that, you song. Or if you caught this with the song, you're something about you're a liar. It's like I was kind of lying. That's not nice. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Let's see. 80. Now we go to list. List. And then we go review generation. And then any card. History. Alright. Let's fold it. And publish. And this is V4. Using article generated as source. Preparing your Zap to go live. This may take a few moments. New version published. Now, if I go this way, and I'm not running my script, so if I go this way, and I go this way, and then I go here, and refresh the page. Josh, don't do that. Oh, so I have my my key up. So. And for one thing, I forgot to reactivate my camera. My bad, because I got distracted and my key's still in the way. So, alright, virtual camera. So, now, what we should see happen here is this first one should eventually have that redefined. I think. So it says it's up. So change history, no, Zap runs. Last I used it was the 6th. Refresh stopped, halted on the 13th, which is today. What is the problem? The step was safely halted because nothing was found in the Google Sheets. Okay, so it did not find the thing in the Google Sheets. Okay. So I need to edit Zap. I need to figure out what happened here. Alright, so card list moved. Look up sheet row. So I'm looking at the sheet row. I'm going for that. And action. Article planning from this worksheet. And then look up. All right. So I need to run tests. Continue with the select record. Delay for 2 seconds or for 0.2 seconds. Because Trello is silly like that. Alright, so now we go action. Continue. Right. So we find the source. Retest step. There we go. Retest step. So now we find what? Oh no! I think I know what the problem is. So basically, we didn't update the information that we were looking for. So we're pulling from source 2, but no, that doesn't make sense. Because that information doesn't look like it changed. Source 2 should be comments, data, text. Hard move to list and Trello, okay. Look up spreadsheet row in Google. No, because that's where we're putting data to, right? So we found the row. So we found the row. It's set specifically because it did not find no data to show in this record. Lookup key column A. So that would mean that the lookup key failed for our processes. So I need to go back to edit again. And our lookup failed. All right. So if our lookup failed for the row, we need action, and our lookup value should be. Let's remove this guy. Actually, let's test it first. Retest it. Failed to find it. Lookup value is missing. I don't need help yet. Lookup value is missing. So if I go back to action, we go to card custom fields. So card custom fields. The card list moved. It moved in Central. Card custom fields. Oh, I know what happened here because it's so the for some reason when Trello moves cards like between them, they're not consistent. They're not consistent with the placement of the names, right? I mean, I don't know why it is, but and it could be something I'm doing, but they're not consistent. And so what I'm actually trying to have it do is look up Bad Touch Lady, and so instead of trying to match. So if I go comment now, background image, let's go to direction. But it's not the right information. So it could be done by build, right? Crazy or is it false? Didn't it? Then I think I have to go look up value products. See that's what it is. I looked up in title, and I usually look it up in build now because I used the title for some reason before, but I want to use the build because the build is as good as the title. Sort of thing where if I look it up from the build, unless there's more than one build that uses the same name, whereas the title is completely unique. No, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Oh, this is gonna break. No, it's not. Oh, okay. Publish. Alright, shall we try this again? Maybe we shall try it again. So now, already from the test, it already filled in, which means that we should be good. And then you can see how I have it where it pulls level 1 brief and level 20 brief for the information I'm feeding in the thing. Because the thing is that it doesn't need all of that information to make the article decent. So now we have everything source 2. And then what happens after that is more, is actually behind the scenes type stuff. So it's the other particular process has automations to it that I have to actively run and go through it. And those ones are more, behind the scenes sort of like level of activity. So those are ones that I'm not willing to quite share because those are, as I said before, those are the sort of thing where you kind of see what I'm using a little bit, but so that being said, we'll go through the rest of these processes and just show how it actually works. When I'm not gapping about it, figuring it out. So now we're looking back to our second link here. So again, we already went through, and we have on the post, we already filled out all of those, other than source 2. Source 3 is something that I've got there for expandability in case I find a reason to use it. And so we end up in a space where now it's like, okay, well, we've already pulled our original baseline content from this source, and it's fine that I'm going to use the same one already, because I don't really need to have like anything more involved there. It's one of those ones where I'll change my tune eventually, but for now we're going to use that. Because I have to do more research and stuff, and honestly I'm going to be way more well rested to do this sort of integration stuff. So now we're going to go to the next one, which is this Blood Mage. Blood Mage, then Gold Lens. I have now need to I need to fix my Trello up. So just to make sure that my orders match each other. Not that it really matters all that much in this one. What matters is that I go to the right spots. But I also don't like. I'd rather not have them out of order. It makes it easier to work with, right? Is the bottom line. And also it's really easy to do. So it's Blood Mage, Gold Lens, Witch Knight. It's not last, Witch Knight is last. Witch Knight and then Master of the Sword. Because I copied it over the long way once. Alright, so now we have all this done here. So now, from there, we have this filled out. This in turn became our article generation page from start. And now we go to, and actually I can close some of these up because I no longer need them open. I no longer need them. All right. So now we go to Blood Mage, right? And did I already open it? We're gonna pull you back over here because that's my login. And you over here. We're gonna try. We're gonna try using Stable Diffusion. I don't know how well it'll work for this, but we're gonna try it. You know what? The only problem is that because the problem that I have with Stable Diffusion for this portion is I have to basically take the narrative and break it down into like specific prompts, like specific types of prompts. Because I have basically re-envision the situation, which is what I'm gonna do anyway. But I also have a time limit here, so. This is one of the big problems. You meet those exceptions for time limits, right? And you have to get back to fix them later on. So anyway, so edit glossary item here. So these are all glossary items that I'm using here. Alright. Now we see Blood Mage. So the tower still goes on at the top of the mountain. The last rampart to be able to signal the capital of fall. Signals to the capital of fall any incoming enemy forces. While the guards were extremely well trained, established strong patrol routes, they were still in concealment. Thus, they did not see the shadow moving amongst the patrols. As she finally arrived at the top where the fire was lit to be lit in case of attack, 2 guards were posted there. She charged the first and entered his body, only to exit from the second, making the last one explode in a gory spectacle. Quickly turned around and cast a spell that instantly robbed the first guard's life force, leaving the dry husk of the corpse hanging there. Now to destroy this stack of wood. Obviously, my friend's utilization of language, well, it showed his primary language being French in this case. Again, this is why I'm doing it, because he needs the editor. Alright, so the tower stood alone at the top of the mountain. It was the last rampart able to signal back the signal with the capital fall. So it was the last rampart. It was the last rampart. It was the last bastion, which would be able to signal the capital fall. Although the gods were extremely well trained, and strong patrol routes, so thus they did not see the shadow moving amongst the hills. Thus they did not see the shadow moving amongst the hills. She finally arrived at the top. I'm having rampart. How's the signal there? How's the signal fire? She finally arrived at the top of the rampart that housed the signal fire. Struck. First, she charged and entered. So she struck the two guards posted, or the two posted guards. As she finally arrived at the top of the rampart that housed the signal fire, she struck the two posted guards. First, she charged and entered closest guard's body, exiting second. Closest guard's closet, closest guard's body, teleporting and exiting in the second. They're teleporting. First, she charged and entered the second in the closest guard's body, teleporting and exiting from exiting from the other. There's only two. Exiting from the others in a gory spectacle. His body exploding in viscera. I mean, look, it's a gory scene we're talking about here. Welcome to the Matrix. No, welcome to the Rayak, eh? Let's see. Teleporting. Why doesn't think teleporting is a word? Well, you know what, spell checker, you're wrong. Teleporting is a word. For his body exploding. I changed tense in that. First, she charged and entered the closest guard's body, teleporting and exiting from the others in the gory spectacle. His body exploded in viscera. Exiting. Once reformed, quickly turned, and sapped the remaining guard. Remaining guards. Sorry, life force. That was gross. Life force. Once reformed, she quickly turned and sapped the remaining guard's life force, leaving his corpse, leaving his desiccated corpse, not corpse like core. Wow. Oh boy, I've got another bunch of these. Leaving his desiccated corpse slump to the ground. All that remained was destroy the pile. Securing the doom. False capital. Let's see. The tower stood alone at the top of the mountain. It was the last bastion which would be able to signal to the capital of fall. Although the guards were extremely well trained and had a strong patrol routes, they were still only human. Thus, they did not see the shadow moving across amongst the patrols. As she finally arrived at the top of the rampart that housed the signal fire, she struck the 2 posted guards. First, she charged and entered the closest guard's body, teleporting and exiting from the others in a gory spectacle. His body exploded in viscera. Once reformed, she quickly turned and sapped the remaining guard's life force, leaving his desiccated corpse to slump to the ground. All that remained was to destroy the pile of wood, securing the doom of Fall's capital. I just like the way that kind of flows. That's actually really, I like the sense of that one. All right, so now up to this guy, and we need to go with the thing. I will wean myself off of freaking Dali eventually. Right now, there's a new GPT. I wonder if they. I'll have to look into that now. All right. First and foremost, we need to send our prompts, our pre-prompts to see. I can show you my pre-prompts. I don't know. It's one of those ones where, at this stage, it's like, who would care for one thing? I mean, what? Someone's gonna steal this stuff. Okay, good for you. Paranoia does nothing for anyone. I mean, it does something sometimes if they're actually out to get you, though. But it's not paranoia at this point. At that point. But there are certain things, of course, obviously, I don't want to just go, yeah, here's my passwords. No, I'm not going to give you my passwords. But what I will do, if I can find the thing I'm looking for, is remember how things brain works and fail, actually. Alright, so article names. No, I need to go up one. Alright, and then let's go with it's in images because it's the prompts, and then image prompts. That's my actual current image prompts that I'm working on over there. It's a different project, but it's related. Basically, the image prompts. You give something like Dali a little bit of base, right? And from there, you take the idea of what you're working for and kind of can slam it in there, and you can do interpretation, and you can work from there. There are strengths to that, there are weaknesses to it, and I really hate Dali at this point in time. I use it because it's a convenient product. And at least this one was a little bit more informative. It didn't actually tell me like what was the problem, but it's probably the fact that I'm talking about gory corpses and things getting exploded. So we're not going to get the desiccated corpses. We're probably going to have to delete the struck part. So it doesn't like intense violence. Like it's like, how dare you do violence stuff? Which again, the scene isn't meant for. I mean, I would call it probably, if I had to say it, right? I would call it I would call it, it's graphic, sure. Probably parent PG. I mean, if you're, PG-13, like if you're 13-year-old without parental or with parents' guidance, right? To have freaking nightmares about a conversation about somebody being exploded with, their guts flying all over. I mean, maybe little girls, all right? I'm gonna go there, all right? I'm wrong for this, and I'm gonna call myself as wrong for this. Maybe, but a little boy is probably. I mean, at least when I was 13, right? I had borne witness mentally to like crazier things in my own skull, right? Let alone, I mean, I would say like, because by that point in time I'd read like Ender's Game, right? It's like, yeah, okay. By that point in time, I'd been familiar enough, probably read, at that point in time I'd read or thumbed through, I can say I read Lord of the Rings, right? Like, I'm sorry, but what's a little bit of what like, it annoys me because like, hey, all right, so I want you to do this, and it doesn't even know what my application of what I'm using it for is. Like, that's the thing that annoys me about this the most. This is part of the reason why I want to move away from DALL-E. Not because I necessarily want to like go for the super explicit graphics or anything like that, but rather because I want to have more creative control. Like if I want to have someone, with a knife to their throat, right? Because it's part of the thematic of whatever's going on there. That's what I want to have on the screen, and it would refuse if I asked it to do that. So, but in any case, for the scene to actually get the idea across, I am going to have to do some more curation of what's the event that we're talking about. So, because the picture that it gave me, I didn't like, so I'm going to have to iterate it like a bunch of times on just this one, which is kind of annoying because again, timetables, right? And I've got 5 of these guys to do, plus 1 more that needs to be done as a follow-up once this is done. This has to get done and move on to the next part. So, the picture doesn't really, I guess, but I want it to be done. So, I will. Because basically what I want to do is, the goal of this process is to... Sorry, I just paused and kind of reconsidered my own point. The goal of this process is basically to get the glossary posts ready for relational consumption. And although the actual physical process doesn't require this, the long process does. So that's why I get it done at this point in time. Although honestly, I might have to take a shortcut on this one. In fact, I will take a shortcut on these. Because the thing is that, as I said before, I've got to get through these 5 like today. And I mean today by the hour sort of thing, or by midnight, possibly tomorrow at the latest. So I am going to have to take shortcuts. And I don't want to take shortcuts. Those shortcuts are basically going to be quick editorial. Basically, blood, create out some sort of spellcasting. Super high, very fast. That's very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna. I know I just went through all this process, all these things, right? But the fact of the matter is that I have to go through and get this done. All right, sheet source from glossary, sheet outline prompts from template. What was I talking about yesterday? Oh, okay. So these are specifically related to sheet title review. All right, generate slug from title, which we already did. Zap Chronicle, yep, already generated the Trello card. So all of these get done before the Trello card exists. They're already checked off, basically. Which, I'm not a fan of necessarily how I did that. Because basically you're going to jump into the card and immediately check those off. Glossary review, yeah, okay. Not add image, not add synonyms. I don't need to worry about those right now. Fixed table. So none of those are done as a prereq for, other than the review itself, a prereq for this process. And again, I hate doing it this way. Oh, whoops, did I click the wrong one? I hate to do it this. Oh, I know what I did. I hate doing it this way, but it's one of those things where I have a timetable, and with that, in respecting that timetable for a specific future process, means that I have to get through this process faster than I want to. So once I get these moved forward with you guys here, set up for, I'm gonna have to do a bunch of stuff offline, just because again that back end process isn't really mine to share, if that makes sense. Maybe it is. Maybe I should just do it, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Because honestly, what's probably gonna happen is, despite what I just said about needing the thing, I'm probably gonna go. I'm gonna get these done and then run this process that's in front of us, and then I'm going to gonna take a lie down because I just hit bad. But the cool thing about having a checklist is that effectively, even though I check all those off because they're true, I still know that I need to, and I still will know that I need to get the remaining stuff done as well. So even though I'm moving them preemptively, content generation. All right, and then those will get done over there. Oh, except they won't. Oh. Oh, crud. Oh, golly gee williker. Yeah, hopefully I can get away with this. So I needed to go to here, monoclass. Net glossary. What you don't see is on the screen that I've got in my one, I actually have processes that are producing the, as mentioned, that they're actually producing, and I can monitor those stat blocks from what we did in the previous one there. So, all right, so this actually needs to change though, I noticed, to not monoclass, but to something else. Bring it in line with what we did. Yes. So now I'm gonna go back here. Apparently I was so tired I didn't even. All right, so now that becomes full blend, and then you down here become. I thought I did some of this. I must not have saved it then, I guess. I could be going insane. Not gonna save it properly. So now I'm gonna update that preemptively, and then I gotta remember to do the. Did I mark those? Did I mark those wrong, or did I not? No, I didn't. I gotta remember to do the fixed tables on these. Because like the fix on the tables, just for the note, the fix on the tables is more related to making sure that the tables are like they appear correctly. So again, they're visibility checks, not content checks. I mean, they're content checks too, for sure, you know, but they're, yeah. All right, and then this one needs to be set up that one too, which is cool. Right? This is why I'm confused, because we did this one where I made the modifications in front of me, right? The undead army made its way slowly towards the capital. I don't know. The free cities having been destroyed, the dread emperor marched his armies toward the capital of Phalo. The country as weak as their pitiful king. Those insected fools would no longer stand in his way, and with them crushed beneath his undead horde, none would resist. In the air atop his zombie dragon, he glanced groundward with a smirk crossing his decrepit face. The swarming zombies and skeletons made their way slowly towards his final goal. His smile, better described as a grimace, shed rotten faded flesh from his jaws. Soon, his victory shall be complete. Again, I am going to take double down taking my shortcut for the chats. Oh shit. Well, that's great. That's just great. So it preloaded them, apparently? Okay, I guess that's how this works now. Alright, as the undead army got closer to the capital, suddenly the entire army got assaulted under assaults from okay. My friend. Also, is it capital or capital? That's what I know. As the undead army got closer to the capital, it was assaulted by it was assaulted. It was assaulted. You call them assault spider swarms? Assaulted by spider swarms. Their number was so great. Their number was so great. Emperor. Looked on. Under disbelief. His grand army. His grand undead army was consumed. That one pauses because the problem is that it broke, as you can see, so that like ours can't see it broke and like started to do. So it started to do unbid the food that the gold blue blend build. Although the proper one, I'm not gonna have time because the hive mind needs so much touch on that. As the undead army got closer to the capital, it was assaulted by spider swarms. Their number was so great that the emperor looked on in utter disbelief as his grand undead army was consumed. Tidal wave of Iraq. It's the only good bug is a dead bug. May not always agree with this undead emperor or whatever Steve fancies himself nowadays. But on this, you see, it is when his eyeballs are still in their sockets. Very hard to get around, though. Anyway, that was just me being goofy. Obviously, that is not in the narrative. Alright, so, the number was so great that the Emperor looked on in utter disbelief as his grand undead army was consumed by the tidal wave of Arachnids. So many of them. Back. More numerous. Truly. Distraction. Missed single female growl. Female growl. I'm sorry. But did I break your concentration? Distractions. Look upwards and forward. Forward is for him is on the dragon house. distraction, he missed a single female drive float upwards and before him on his zombie dragon mount. She was covered in rags. It's vermin of various sorts. Vermin, various sorts. Shivering over her. This range. This strange woman. Okay. In his distraction, he missed a single female drow float upwards, and before drow who floated past tense, right? Keep the tensing right, because I tried to. Who floated upward and before him on his zombie dragon mount. He was covered in rags and vermin of various sorts chittering over her. The strange woman chided him. Him! Him. The strange woman chided him. Him, the undead emperor. Scourge of life. The undead emperor, scourge of life itself. The strange woman chided him. Him, the undead emperor, scourge of life itself. I'm sorry, but I made a promise to a certain girl to protect this kingdom while she is away. Would you kindly go back to your lands now? Would you kindly? I see what you did there. Would you kindly go back to your lands now? I'm sorry, but I made a promise to a certain girl to protect this kingdom while she is away. A certain girl to protect this kingdom while she is away. Would you kindly go back to your lands now? Lilith's Touch Drow, Red Necromancer 8, Vermin Lord 10, Cancer Mage 2 with a 3-level adjustment buyback. Strength, what else? Vulnerable and slow. Why is that? Oh. See, this is why we do checks. This is why we do checks. Let's see. Is it actually supposed to be heading 3? It's supposed to be heading 3. Roll alt 3, maybe? Yes, it works. Huzzah. Alright. Okay. Vermin Lord at level 10 gets the ability to form and be part of. A Hive Mind gains intelligence, charisma, and sorcerer caster levels. Feats and skills X amount of. A Hive Mind gains intelligence, charisma, and sorcerer caster levels, as well as feats and skills for X amount of members. You start with 16 HD Vermin Familiar, which can have plus 500 plus members, which just by itself it gets you a sorcerer cast level at a minimum 342. Which just by itself gets you a sorcerer cast level of 342. Yes, you read that right. The caster level in a game that goes maybe level 40 with epic levels goes to 340, 342. I can't spell right now. Don't judge me. I've got to you start with 16 HD Vermin Familiar, which can have 500 numbers. Which just by itself, just by itself gets you a sorcerer cast level of 342. Yes, you read that right. Your cast level in a game that goes to maybe level 40 with epic levels goes to 342. And then italics at a minimum. Look, alright. You then cast Gate several times to summon more swarms. And stack them together to increase your hive mind. More swarms. And gather them in sync. More swarms. Let's see. More swarms. Stacking them together to increase your hive mind. At level 20, you'll rapidly reach a caster level. By level 20, you'll rapidly reach a caster level in the thousands of Googles. This, in turn, this, in turn, now we're using present tense. We're talking to you, the reader, allows you. Second person participle with the present tense. This in turn allows you to cast epic spells and spam 9th level spells like someone else with cantrips. So let's add. He must have been terrible at this. Let's add 2 levels of Cancer Mage to gain as much strength via Vile Deceive shenanigans. Why doing this combo with the Dreadmaster and not Sorcerer? Sorcerer just can't fulfill the vermin or requisites by itself, whereas the Necromancer, being spontaneous cancer, at this point yes, whereas the Necromancer can. As I said before, so our next steps for that would actually be to go through and clean up make a picture, and so on. Now, that's not a requirement for our current process. So therefore, we're not, I'm not going to worry about it at this point in time. Plus, also, I want to spend the time when I'm not on a time crunch, like a strong time crunch, to redevelop my specific processes to leverage my Stable Diffusion instance and the envisioning that we kind of built off of that, as opposed to using DALL-E, which I have way less control over. I don't like DALL-E. There are better options out there, I know, but it's just the one that I've been using because, well, first Index for us, right? There are better ones out there at this stage. And honestly, playing with my own local Stable Diffusion, let me kind of say this. Doing that and working with that will make me actually, frankly speaking, an artist. Like, I'll actually be doing the art stuff. Using DALL-E to wordsmith my way into, and promptsmith basically my way into an output is more managerial in a manner of it, and is less. It's still got some of it to a certain extent. You're still doing the word stuff, and it still is kind of a form of doing the art stuff, but it's not as integral to the process. Does that make sense? Because I'm more offshore and a lot more of the details to a series of LLMs to interpret what I'm telling it to do. And so while there is still plenty of technique to it, and specific technique to it as well, and there's mass production availability as well to it, to both of them, it's less... Well, let me put it this way. It's more like a mug that's made in China versus one that's been, though mass produced, handmade in somewhere in the US. It's like, yeah, it works, it does the purpose. It's probably got some lead in it that it shouldn't. In other words, it's probably got some things that it shouldn't have in it. Whereas with Stable Diffusion, I can go through and do a lot more. I can kind of agree with some of those naysayers about AI art when they're talking about something like DALL-E or the super basics a little bit more. But I am going to say that something like, with working with all the stuff with Stable Diffusion, all the options there, with getting the scripts of style point, for example, where it's got all these things. And yes, you can still influence as a large artist for sure, but it's waiting, it's art, it's influence, which again, bosses people do what they do, right? They take it from all those things. And so now it's closer to, and I've explained that, I've tried to explain that background when I was talking about this, which is the point. It's closer to like the difference between, it's this one, darn it. I don't dislike this one, and I said this before, but the problem I have with it is that it ends up bridging in and trying to jump from trance to dubstep, and dubstep has things like that, the what the fuck sort of thing, and I don't like it. I do not care for it. It ruins a good song. You've got like a, I don't like that sort of play. It's not bad, but I just don't like. I'm not in the mood for it. I'm looking for a specific sort of play of it. I wonder what other channels that that group has, because we're using, as it says in the description, right? Because I'm required to make the note of that. We're using their stuff for a fair reason. But I'm using, you know, the Outer Tones channels, and they've got they've actually got some really cool. Yeah, they've got some. The terms are simple. You know, just make sure you credit them in your status, right? For your description for your thing, for streaming it, for doing for VODs and that sort of thing. It's a really cool thing. And they've got other channels as well. This was like the gaming one, which is great because, you know, generally that's kind of where I'm at. And it's mostly, their stuff is mostly EDM and like trance and stuff like that. And I'm cool with that. Because I like EDM and such. But then with EDM, you know, electronic dance music, you end up getting sometimes where folks will throw in, like, in this sort of mix, dubstep with, I don't consider, and I know it technically is and all that stuff, but I don't consider dubstep to be EDM, like it's electronica kind of sorta, but it's its own thing. Like it's you know, it's on the high levels, it's related to like trance and techno and stuff like that, because it's, you know, using the same sort of synthesis, right? But in direct contrast to these things, to trance and to techno, is dubstep has the tendency of wanting to make your nose bleed. It's super intense, which is cool and all, and I get it, but I don't like it. If I'm rocking music like that, right? You know, that one's really cool. Don't wake me up. You know, or I don't want to. I'm tired. You know, everything's and then it's like WTF. It throws it in there. It's like, why? And then the beat drops for the dramatic effect. I get that. And I appreciate artists and all their arts, whatever form they're choosing, that sort of thing. But that doesn't mean it's for me. Now, let's extrapolate this back out to the art, like the art generated from LLM type things and all that. I get it. It's not for everyone, and you don't have to engage in it either. But you also don't have to make a butt of yourself too. You know, you don't like it. Okay, cool. It's evil. No, it's not. Well, it's stealing stuff, and you're not. Like, again, I feel that particular complaint one too many times. Where it's like, oh, how dare you use this technology? Oh, and like I was getting at, is for something like DALL-E, I can kind of see the argument where it's a little bit less playing with the things, and you have to go through and you have to do some real deep like digs to make them decent. Like crops a step, and then you gotta go more. Crop sometimes is enough, sometimes is enough. But a lot of times you gotta go more with it. You gotta do more places. When you start looking at like this, you know, like what I was showing here with using Stable Diffusion, and this is particularly the automatic 1111. I think it's 4 ones. I don't quite remember. Might be 3 ones. When you're using it, you're playing with like, you know, all these various details to like how the weighting of the various things, the weighting of the inspirations, and you start getting more complicated stuff. And in the prompts themselves, there's all these rules to know about, how to make them look like the way you want it to. And it's kind of like how composing by hand, as it were, versus composing using synthesis of various sorts, like the entire EDM movement. In fact, I'm old enough where, although it's on the edge of my memory, I'm old enough to have some familiarity of like just how like in the 90s, right? You have this advent of like the techno sort of thing and all that, but there's this super pushback in the composition sort of area, the musical composition area, about how terrible it was for the art of music. And there was like, it was going to push out like all the classical, it was going to push out the normal. It carved its own space, but there's still space for, say, you know, your rock, your classic stuff. Other issues with pop and all of that are issues endemic to it in itself. But, you know, you had this, the advent of like the auto-tuner stuff. And as much as that may have changed the dynamic as far as what talent was concerned, tell me it destroyed the industry. Tell me it destroyed what, you know, the creative element of it. It just opened up a new venue. So when people say, well, here's this thing that's always going to steal, this is no different. When we get to the more complicated stuff, it's no different. Using DALL-E is like just freaking, how do I want to say this? Using DALL-E is like using the simple version where you just have the simple panels to do it, or perhaps maybe if you want to go with like the weak DJ, right? The one that's just playing around with their turntables, which has more ability than a lot of folks do, for sure. Same thing with DALL-E. It's more ability and time and effort put in than a lot of folks do, yeah. But it's not the top. Like it's not the pinnacle of, shall we say, the art of what that is. And when we start talking about using LLMs to enhance that sort of process, you still have all the same artistic rules that are there. It's just a different hand that's putting, shall we say, the ink to page. But it's still artistry. It's just a different type. So again, and honestly, this is just me candidly kind of going off the rails a little bit, off the cuff. But as I'm thinking about it some more, I'm like, dude, you know what? Honestly, especially when we start getting the more complex, more integrated stuff, where it's like, no, you have to know what you're doing to make stuff that looks cool. It looks not just cool, but it looks good. Yeah, you actually have to apply yourself to the thing. Don't tell me, oh, it's super easy. It's only if you're doing it wrong. Like legit, that's only if you're doing it wrong. Otherwise, it has a skill base to it, a skill cap to it. And is the skill cap less than the hand artistry? I would argue that it's not. It's different. But the eye that's applying to it, the methodology that's still in development, I might say, very much so on the ground level. Yeah, I'm just saying. Say I'm going too far, you might. That's fair. I get you. And I honestly respect it to a certain extent. Especially as I've advanced my own craft, and I can kind of look at where I was 6 months and a year ago. A year's getting close to a year actually. When I first started playing around with stuff, when stuff kind of really, started to become more generally available. And go, yeah, I've made leaps and bounds in my process as a whole. Not just the website stuff, but specifically for the graphics design stuff. Man, oh man, I swear, like that stuff. I'm getting to the point where this one's kind of a base rough one, and this one I kind of just threw something at DALL-E, and this is cool. I like it. I had an idea, and I was like, let's go with this. And I had kind of poked around, and I got the thing I was looking for pretty quickly too. But that's not because of DALL-E. That was because I knew what I was looking for. I knew how to work DALL-E, right? And now I want to learn Stable Diffusion and specifically learn the automatic, that stuff and all these various shininess to it. Because, hey, that has a great potentiality to go really cool places where I make this stuff look like shells. Because I don't like, for example, this, right? And honestly, the truth is that I could go through with like the clone tool or something and fix it, or something like that, to touch up the image itself. But I don't like the fact that these are more kind of the Asian type of dragons for what I'm describing. I was actually looking specifically more for European style dragons, because the runoff here with the stellar dragons, they're more of they're kind of a synthesis between the two, whereas this is going more for the Asiatic dragons, which is fair because when we think about the Asian dragons, the chromatic, or it is the chromatic versus the metallic, and the metallic ones are the more Asian, as I recall. And the chromatics are like, red and so on. But then again, the stellar dragons, well, they're closer to the chromatic in a manner of speaking, and the metallic in a manner of temperament, in a way of speaking. So that's kind of where we're dealing with that. As I understand it, because the stellar dragons itself got developed more in Spelljammer. But the Spelljammer itself doesn't have ownership over it, funnily enough, which is weird to me still, because I looked into it when we went Stellar Dragons. I was like, is this? I know we've got some reference points from that, but it's not like it's, as far as I know, it's not like trademark copy or anything like that. So we got it; it's ours now. But just by sheer de facto momentum, if nothing else. And then pulling off the Stellar Dragons games definitely makes it more like, just simply no, that's us. Which is kind of what we're doing there too. And Stellar Dragons Media, which is currently kind of on a hold for the sake of that process of design and development right now, in which the renewed website thing had high priority. Anyway, so we're actually almost done with this baseline stuff that I can start working for other directions. And I have no idea how long I've actually been streaming for. I just kind of push the button and let it run. Ooh, you've broken a heart that. Ow! This song is tough. This song is tough. I'm not saying I dislike that. I'm just saying this song is tough. I know that I'm running out of. I've got 15 minutes of the recording, so because of space on my particular partition. So I'm gonna end up once I get close, or once it gets to about 5 minutes left on the recording, then I'll pull it out, because as I said before, the next step ends up being where I have to do it off screen to kind of generate the content itself. And while I would love to showcase that, I'll be frank, that'd be only if I had an affiliate with that particular group. Nothing against, but at that point in time, I'm literally making them money. And if I'm making somebody money, I should probably, I'm kind of making troll money a little bit here, but if I start doing that other thing, I'm literally like, yeah, hey, so guys, can I get an affiliate link? And maybe I should get into that discussion if I'm going to do this. Yeah, I think I will actually. Now I know my links out right now don't have all the value in the world, right? But yeah, I think I will. Maybe I should be. Sorry, you just caught me upon this forgetting. You know what? Like, it's not that I'm going, oh, I have to make money, off of everything that I constantly do. I don't like to be like that, but I do have to make money, and I gotta figure out, how to do stuff, right, to do that, to make this actually, in a word. And I hate myself for saying this. I ain't gonna lie, I hate myself for saying this. I hate myself for saying this, but the fact of the matter is that I really have to, because I have to pay my way, right? And not just my way, but our way, the group's way. I gotta figure out a way to make that happen. And so I have to basically throw stuff at the wall until it sticks. Until I find something that people want. And I still don't know what it is that people want, and that's the thing. Yeah, so as I was saying though, because I got distracted by something here, as I was saying though, yeah, so it's the sort of thing where it's just trying to figure that out, and figure out a way to kind of get people basically, and it's crass, it's crude, it's horrible, right? But to pay us, with the sort of thing that we can do with that. And on one hand, and the program that we've been kind of using, right, has been focused around, it's kind of focused around affiliate type marketing. And the reason why is because the goal there is to take somebody and put them in the direction of the thing that solves their need. And that's important. That's important. That's actually a really good thing. It's actually a valuable matter. And it's one of those spots where it's like, oh, well, it's advertising. So here's the thing, is that if you didn't have that pointer, then you wouldn't know that this product serves your need, whatever that product might be. And you wouldn't necessarily have the information to make that, to further follow in. And kind of connecting somebody with a product is a legitimate activity. It is. At one point, I would have kind of poo-pooed it and kind of thumbed my nose at it. Somebody told me the other day about a different product that I was trying to get, the media campaign stuff. Called me an effing leech or something like that, and it was one of those ones where it was like, well, for one thing, I definitely won't be doing business with that company, and I'm not going to name them. That's not the cut of my job, but I'm not going to be doing business with that company because that sort of attitude. And for another thing, these media campaigns that I'm talking about, right? So even though with the problems that we had with the Stellar Dragons URL and kind of those sort of processes there, I want to point out that Stellar Dragons as a search term on Google, which currently has us blacklisted for reasons, for the Stellar Dragons. And again, there are reasons for it. We're currently trying to clean it up and trying to get it to where those reasons go away. But beside the point, Stellar Dragons is still if you search for, I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. F it, we're doing it live, right? If I search Stellar Dragons, all right. Okay, Stellar Dragon is the first one. Okay, cool. The website's the second one. I have to point that out. The Wikipedia is the first one. I should be looking up this line as a term. The second one is SellerDragons.com. That's the power of the media campaigns that we did. And because the momentum that I built up for what I did, guess what? It's going to be that way for a long time. Now, how many people are searching for Stellar Dragons? A handful. Honestly, a handful. But you get the point that I'm getting at here, is that we have the situation where we have this powerful tool, and somebody could go like, you have the situation, and we have this powerful tool, and I'm really honest, that hurt. Because I'm a person, right? You know, and I've done with those. There was an email campaign that I was running. That was pretty much a cold email campaign to businesses that had their information. I was for the media campaign stuff, right? And I got a mix. I got quite a few that were, amicable to general idea. A few that were like very cautious. They're like, yeah, but you're probably trying to sell something. Much for this, yeah. I don't know, yeah, kind of. But I'm trying to sell something that's really worthwhile. It's really worthwhile. I wouldn't be trying to sell something if I didn't think it was worthwhile. And so this circles back to kind of overarching like why I end up going, well, maybe I can, maybe this thing works. Maybe I can kind of throw this down the line, and maybe I can get people's money. No, so that's not the way I'm saying it or thinking about it for that matter. But maybe I can, find the thing that people are looking for in this sphere. Maybe I can find the right connection point for them. What does that look like? See, I don't know yet. And that's kind of what we're trying to figure out. And the problem is that, honestly, like I said, I'm running out of money. I ran out of money. Now I'm like, I ran out of my failovers. Like, I'm right now, like, looking at this edge, and I ain't begging, and I'm not gonna beg. It's just not how I am. That's just not the creature that I am. I will find myself in a bad space. In truly a bad space, and hopefully not drag anyone down with me in the process. If that's what ends up happening, this doesn't work out. I have failover options getting back to my expenses. See, I knew I was gonna bump it eventually. I've got failover options. I'm taking those. I've got failover options that I can use, that I'm trying to use basically that get back into a 9 to 5. And if I get back into a 9 to 5, well, that means that I'm going to be associated with that 9 to 5 for at least a year, as a courtesy. So even if all of this does somehow, like tomorrow or next week, right, or next month, and I get that job take off, even if that's the case, then the fact of the matter is well, I'm stuck now doing two sides of it, and I will continue to do so. Because I want this thing to work. Because this, I can actually help my friends. With this, I can actually help people out there. There aren't as many as there should be, but I can help the people I care about. And then I can start helping whatever things I want, and go off in that. And then go off into like whatever causes personally that I might want to stand for, right? And that's not something that I would ever, and I'm going to say this on the recording stream, it's not something that I would ever really go for doing for an organization. But it's a personal thing, right? It's a personal conviction. I'm not going to force it on people that I would ostensibly have working with me. Now, hopefully I would have people around me that would agree with me on it. But I'm also not going to say, well, this company stands for whatever, because the company stands for getting the products that we're producing out to the people that would consume it. That's what it stands for, and I'm not going to bear any notes. Us as individuals, creativity, liberty, and sort of things like that, and we have our stances, but the company itself, its goal is to get the stuff out to the people that are looking for it, that need it. Or not need, because this stuff is not really a need, but, well, it's a need in a sense. But anyway, you get what I'm saying there, like reaching out and kind of producing. So it's about figuring what that looks like. Because I always hate it where, unless the company is like foundational on certain things, that they like try and shoehorn and hammer this stuff in as though that's their entire purpose. And it's like, well, no, but your purpose is to give me the thing. Like, and again, I'm not going to name and shame stuff, but I'm going to say that organizations that do this sort of thing, well, I get why, but please don't. Like, you're ruining the dialogue by playing games with this. I mean, I'm against the nominal notion of the amount of lobbying and stuff that goes on. Like, I get it, people want to represent their interests and so on and so on. But lobbying itself is a form of fascist corruption, if you ask me. And I just said it. And I'm not going to go too much further down that line, because again, that goes into politics stuff, and that goes into stuff that I'm not here to talk about. But what I am saying is from a corporate perspective, from a company perspective, Stellar Dragons Games, Stellar Dragons, this entire crazy experiment of ours, will shy away from utilizing its particular whatever it might end up achieving to those end as a corporate entity. And the reason why, this is the case, until other people start having to say is that I don't have control over it. But the reason why that's the case is simply this: I don't believe that it is proper for a company to do such a thing. That is my stance. That it is inappropriate for a company to take sides like this when the objective. Okay, notice how I'm not calling any specific groups out. We all know who they are. But it is not appropriate for a company to do so. One way or another. Now, there are certain things that I'm outspoken about, and that thus my organizations that I will be leading are outspoken about. And I will try to help people in the community and so on, but not in the name of the company. In the name of the community, right? In the name of myself, and perhaps on the side in the name of a separate organization that may share the name. It might be like Stellar Dragons Charities or something like that. If that's the sort of thing. But for this thing itself, this resources itself, that is a completely different process and a completely different thing. Effectively, with anything that would come in, it would come in specifically to the purposes of those that have put the effort towards on it. Pardon me this, but I'm not running a charity. I want to run a charity, but this particular side of things is not. It's not it. Maybe one day I'll do something like that, but for the moment, it is very much so intended on being a commercial enterprise. It's not fully developed yet, and I'm not making money. I'm losing money hand over fist. So much so that it might put me out of a house and home. And without a car. And without a lot of things. It might not. I don't know. So, anyway, on that fun note, I am just about out of time on my recording, and therefore I will have to turn to side B if I wish to continue doing so. Although, like I said before, the next steps, other than what's immediately here, are steps that end up in a proprietary loop type stuff that I cannot yet expose. So it gives too much information. Also, it involves the other computer for automation purposes. It wouldn't be something I would be able to really go ahead and throw out there anyway, for a number of reasons beyond just the policy but practicality answers. So that said, for anyone that's been around, that's been watching, that's here and that may watch it in the future, I appreciate you. I really do appreciate your time, because it's one of those things. And wherever you go, wherever you are, safe travels. And I'm going to use this byline because I still have a better byline. Adventure awaits, right? I'm judging myself on that one. I got to figure out a better one. No, that's not the right one. Blood for the blood. No, darn it. That might actually be like a violation of a specific circle that I won't touch. Anyway, well, that is my recording. I will catch y'all around. See y'all around.